Hi, everybody. This is Carlos,
And Bella?
and welcome back for reading number 7 of Wonder. Before we begin, we're going to cover our three comic strips that we added from last week.
So I got Vaya going on the subway, and then I have Vaya and Mom hanging out together. Then I have Augie when he came home throwing up.
Okay. And I have Via talking to Miranda and Ella. And then I have Via becoming friends with Eleanor. Then Via and her mom sitting on the couch. If you want to see my impressive couch that I drew. There we go. All right, we will get started. This next heading is Trick or Treat. August said he doesn't feel well enough to go trick or treating later in the afternoon, which was sad for him because I know how much he loved trick or treating, especially after it got dark outside. Even though I was well beyond the trick or treating stage myself, I usually threw on some mask or other accompanied him up and down the blocks. Watching him knock on people's doors, giddy and giddy with excitement. I knew it was the one night a year when he could truly be like every other kid. No one knew he was different under that mask. Under the mask. To August, that must have felt absolutely amazing. At 7 o'clock that night, I knocked on his door. Hey, I said. Hey, he said back. He wasn't using his PlayStation or reading a comic book. He was just lying in his bed looking at the ceiling. Daisy, as always, was next to him on the bed, her head draped over his legs. The bleeding scream costume was crumpled up on the floor next to the Boba Fett costume. How's your stomach? I said, sitting next to him on the bed. I'm still nauseous. You sure you're not up for the Halloween parade? Positive. This surprised me. Usually August was such a trooper about his medical issues, whether it was skateboarding a few days after the surgery or sipping food through a straw when his mouth was practically bolted shut. This was a kid who's gotten more shots, taken more medicine, put up with more procedures at his age than 10 of than 10 of most people and have would have put up with in 10 lifetimes. And he was sidelined with a little nausea.
You want to tell me what's up? I said, sounding a bit like Mom. No. Is it school? Yes. Teachers? Schoolwork? Friends? He didn't answer. Did someone say something? I asked. People always say something, he said bitterly. I could tell he was close to crying. Tell me what happened, I said. And he told me what happened. He had overheard some very mean things some boys were saying about him. He didn't care about what the other boys had said. He expected that, but he was heard that one of the boys was his best friend, Jack Will. I remembered his mentioning Jack a couple times over the past few months. I remembered that Mom and Dad saying he seemed like a really nice kid, saying that they were glad. August had already made a friend like that. Sometimes kids are stupid, I say, holding his hand. I'm sure he didn't mean it. Then why would he say it? He he's been pretending to be my friend all along. Tishman probably bribed him with a good grade or something. I bet you I bet you he was like, hey Jack, if you make a friend with the freak, you don't have to take any tests this year. You know that's not true. And don't call yourself a freak. Whatever. I wish I'd never gone to school in the first place. But I thought you were liking it. I hate it. He was angry, all of a sudden punching his pillow.
I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. He was shrieking at the top of his lungs. I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say. He was hurt. He was mad. I let him have a few minutes more of his fury. Raisy started licking the tears off his face. Come on, Augie, I said, patting him gently, his back gently. Why don't you put on your Jango Fett costume and its Boba Fett costume? Why does everyone mix that up? Boba Fett costume, I said, trying to stay calm. I put my arm around his shoulder. Let's just go to the parade, okay? If I got to the parade, if I go to the parade, Mom will think I'm feeling better and make me go to school tomorrow. Mom would never make you go to school. I answered. Come on, Augie. Let's just go. It'll be fun, I promise. And I'll let you have all my candy. He didn't argue. He got out of bed and slowly started pulling on the Boba Fett costume. I helped him adjust the straps and tighten the belt, and by the time he put on the helmet on, I could tell he was feeling better.
Time to think. August played up the stomach ache the next day so he wouldn't have to go to school. I admit I felt a little bad for Mom, who was genuinely concerned that he had a stomach bug, but I promised August I wouldn't tell her about the incident at school. By Sunday, he was he was still determined not to go back to school. "What are you planning on telling Mom and Dad?" I asked him when he told me this. "They said I could quit whenever I wanted to," he said. He said this while he was still focused on the comic book he was reading. "But you've never been the kind of kid who quits things," I said truthfully. "It's not like you. I'm quitting." "You're going to have to tell Mom and Dad why," I pointed out, pulling the comic book out of his hands so he'd have to look up at me while we're talking. "Then Mom will call the school and everyone will know about it." Will Jack in trouble?" I would think so. Good. I have to admit, August was surprising me more and more. He pulled another comic book off the shelf and started leafing through it. "Augie," I said, "are you really gonna let a couple of stupid kids keep you from going back to school? I know you've been enjoying it. Don't give them that power over you. Don't give them that satisfaction." "They have no idea I even heard them," he explained. "No, no, I know, but—"
It's okay. I know what I'm doing. I've made up my mind. But this is crazy, Augie, I said, emphatically pulling the new comic book away from him too. "You have to go back to school. Everyone hates school sometimes. I hate school sometimes. I hate my friends sometimes. That's just life, Augie. You want to be treated normal, right? That this is normal. We all have to go to school sometimes, despite the fact that we have a bad day, okay? Do people go out of their way to avoid touching you, Maya?" He answered, which left me momentarily without an answer. "Yeah, right. That's what I thought. So don't compare your bad days at school to mine, okay?" "Okay, that's fair," I said. "But it's not a contest about whose days sucks the most, Augie. The point is, we all have to put up with the bad days." Now, unless you want to be treated like a baby the rest of your life, or like a kid with special needs, you just have to suck it up and go. He didn't say anything, but I think that last bit was getting to him. "You don't have to say a word to those kids," I continued. "August, actually, it's cool. It's cool that you know what they said, but they don't know that you know that they said it. You know what the heck? You know what I mean. You don't have to talk to them ever again if you don't want, and you'll never know, and they'll never know why. See, or you can pretend to be their friends with it, to be friends with them, but deep down inside, you know you're not." "Is that how you are with Miranda?" He asked. "No," I answered quickly, defensively. "I never faked my friendship with Miranda. So why are you saying I should?" "I'm not. I'm just saying you shouldn't let those little jerks get to you. That's all."
"Like Miranda got to you." "Why do you keep bringing up Miranda?" I yelled impatiently. "I'm trying to talk to you about your friends. Please keep mine out of it. You're not even friends with her anymore. What does that have to do with what we're talking about?" The way August looked at me reminded me of a doll's face. He was just starting at he was just staring at me blankly with his half-closed doll eyes. "She called the other day," he said finally. "What?" I was stunned. "And you didn't tell me?" She she wasn't calling you," he answered, pulling both comic books out of my hand. "She was calling me, just to say hi, to see how I was doing. She didn't even know I was going to a real school now. I can't believe you hadn't even told her. She said the two of you don't hang out much anymore, but she wanted to know she but she wanted me to know she'd always loved me like a big sister. Double stunned, stung, flabbergasted. No words formed in my mouth. Why didn't you tell me? I said finally. I don't know, he shrugged, opening the first comic book again. Well, I'm telling Mom and Dad about Jack Will. If you stop going to school, I answered. Tushman will probably call you into school and make Jack and those other kids apologize to you in front of everyone, and everyone will treat you like a kid who should be going to school for kids with special needs. Is that what you want? Because that's what's going to happen. Otherwise, you just go back to school and act like nothing happened. Or if you want to comfort Jack, if you want to confront Jack about it, fine. Either way, if you fine, he interrupted. What? Fine, I'll go, he yelled, not loudly. Just stop talking about it already. Can I please read my book now?
Fine, I answered, turning to leave his room. I thought of something. Did Miranda say anything else about me? He looked up from the comic book and looked right into my eyes. She said to tell you she misses you. Quote unquote. I nodded. Thanks, I said casually, too embarrassed to let him see how happy that made me feel. Part 3. Summer. You are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. You are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring you down. Christina Aguilera. Beautiful.
Weird kids. Some kids have actually come out and asked me why I hang out with the freak so much. These are kids that don't even know him well. If they knew him, they wouldn't call him that. Because he's a nice kid, I always answered, and don't call him that. You're a, you're a saint, Summer. Ex- Examina Chin said to me the other day. I couldn't do what you're doing. It's not a big deal, I answered her truthfully. Did Miss Cushman ask you to be friends with him? Charlotte Cody said. No, I'm friends with him because I want to be friends with him, I answered. Who knew that my sitting with August Pullman at lunch would be such a big deal? People act like it was the strangest thing in the world. It's weird how weird kids can be. I sat with him that first day because I felt sorry for him. That's all. Here he was, this strange looking kid in a brand new school. No one was talking to him. Everyone was staring at him. All the girls at my table were whispering about him. He wasn't the only kid at Beecher Prep, but he was the only one everyone was talking about. Julian had nicknamed him Zombie Kid, and that's what everyone was calling him. Did you see that zombie kid yet? Stuff like that gets around fast, and August knew it. It's hard enough being the new kid, even when you have a normal face. Imagine having his face. So I just went over there to sit with him. Not a biggie. I wish people would stop trying to turn it into something major. He's just a kid. The weirdest looking kid I've ever seen, yes, but just a kid.
The plague. I do admit August's face takes some getting used to. I've been sitting with him for 2 weeks now, and let's just say he's not the neatest eater in the world. But other than that, he's pretty nice. I should also say that I don't really feel sorry for him anymore. That might have been what made me sit down with him the first time, but it's not why I keep sitting down with him. I keep sitting down with him because he is fun. One of the things I've not loved about this year is how a lot of the kids are acting like they're too grown up to play things anymore. All they want to do is hang out and talk at recess. And all they talk about now is who likes who and who is cute and who isn't cute. August doesn't bother about that stuff. He likes to play Foursquare at recess, which I love to play too. It was actually because I was playing Foursquare with August that I found out about the plague. Apparently, this is a game that's been going on since the beginning of the year. Everyone who accidentally touches August has only 30 seconds to wash their hands and find hand sanitizer before they catch the plague. I'm not sure what happens to you if you actually catch the plague, but nobody's touching August yet, not directly. How I found out about this was that Maya Markowitz told me that the reason she won't play Foursquare with us at recess is she doesn't want to catch the plague. I was like, "What's the plague?" And she told me. I told Maya I thought that was really dumb, and she agreed. But she still wouldn't touch the ball that August had just touched. Not if she could help it.
The Halloween party. I was really excited because I got an invitation to Savannah's Halloween party. Savannah is probably the most popular girl in school. All the boys like her. All the girls want to be friends with her. She was the first girl in the grade to actually have a boyfriend. It was some kid who goes to MS 281. Though she dumped him and started dating Henry jo- jo- Joplin, which makes sense because the two of them totally look like teenagers already. Anyway, even though I'm not really in the popular group, I somehow got invited, which is very cool. I told Savannah I got her invitation and would be going to the party. She was really nice to me, though she made sure to tell me that she didn't invite a lot of people, so I shouldn't go around bragging to anyone that I got invited. Maya didn't get invited. For instance, Savannah also made sure to tell me to not to wear a costume. It's it's good that she told me because of course I would have worn a costume to Halloween party. Not the unicorn costume I made for the Halloween parade, but the goth girl getup that I'd worn to school. But even that was a no for Savannah's party. The only negative about my going to Savannah's party was that now I wouldn't be able to go to the parade and the unicorn costume would be wasted. That was kind of a bummer, but okay. Anyway, the first thing that happened when I got to her party was that Savannah greeted me to the door and asked, "Where's your boyfriend, Summer?" I didn't even know what she was talking about.
I guess he doesn't have to wear a mask at Halloween, right? She added. And then I knew she was talking about August. He's not my boyfriend, I said. I know, I'm just kidding. She kissed my cheek. All the girls in our group kissed each other's cheek. Now, whenever they said hello, and threw my jacket on the coat rack in the hallway. Then she took me by the hand down the stairs to the basement, which is where the party was. I didn't see her parents anywhere. There were about 15 kids there. All of them were popular. Kids with either Savannah's group or Julian's group. I guess they've all kinds of merged into one big super group of popular kids now. That some of them had started dating each other. I didn't even know I didn't even know there were so many couples. I mean, I knew about Savannah and Henry, or Xena and Miles, and Ellie and Amos. Ellie's practically as flat as I am. Anyway, about 5 minutes after I got there, Henry and Savannah were standing next to me, literally hovering over me. So we want to know why you hang out with the zombie kid so much," said Henry. "He's not a zombie." I laughed like they were making a joke. I was smiling, but I didn't feel like smiling. "You know, Summer," said Savannah, "you would be a lot more popular if you didn't hang out with him so much. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Julian likes you. He wants to ask you out. He does? Do you think he's cute?" Yeah, I guess, but yeah, he's cute. "So you have to choose who you're going to hang out with," Savannah said. She was telling me to talking to me like a big sister would talk to a little sister. "Everyone likes you, Summer. Everyone thinks you're really nice and that you're really pretty. You could totally be part of our group if you wanted to. And believe me, there are a lot of girls in our grade who would love that."
I know. I nodded. "Thank you. You're welcome," she answered. "You want me to tell Julian to come and talk to you?" I looked over to where she was pointing and could see Julian looking over at us. I actually need to go to the bathroom. Where's it at?" I went to where she pointed, sat down on the side of the bathtub, and called on Mom and asked her to pick me up. "Is everything okay?" said Mom. Yeah, I just don't want to stay, I said. Mom didn't ask any more questions, and she said she'd be there in 10 minutes. Don't ring the bell, I told her. Just call me when you're outside. I hung out in the bathroom until Mom called, and then I snuck upstairs without anybody seeing me, got my jacket, and went outside. It was only 9:30. The Halloween parade was in full swing down Am- Amesfort Avenue. Huge crowds everywhere. Everyone was in costumes: skeletons, pirates, princesses, vampires, superheroes, but not one unicorn.
November. The next day at school, I told Savannah I had eaten some really bad Halloween candy and gotten sick, which is why I went home early from her party, and she believed me. There was actually a stomach bug going around, so it was a good lie. I also told her that I had a crush on someone else that wasn't Julian, so she would leave me alone about that, and hopefully spread the word to Julian that I wasn't interested. She, of course, wanted to know who I had a crush on, and I told her it was a secret. August was absent the day after Halloween, and when he came back, I could tell something was up with him. He was acting so weird at lunch. He barely said a word and kept looking down at his food when I talked to him, like he wouldn't look at me in the eye. Finally, I was like, Augie, is everything okay? Are you mad at me or something? No, he said. Sorry you weren't feeling well at Halloween. I kept looking for Boba Fett in the hallways. Yeah, I was sick. Did you have a stomach bug? Yeah, I guess. He opened a book and started to read, which was kind of rude. I'm so excited about the Egyptian Museum project, I said. Aren't you?
He shook his head, his mouth full of food. I actually looked. I actually looked away because between the way he was chewing, with which almost it seemed like he was being gross on purpose, and the way his eyes were just kind of closed down, I was getting a really bad vibe from him. What project did you get? I asked. He shrugged, pulled it out a little scrap of paper from his jeans pocket and flipped it across the table to me. Everyone in the grade got assigned an Egyptian artifact to work on for the Egyptian Museum Day, which was in December. The teachers wrote all the assignments down on a tiny scrap of paper, which they put in a fishbowl, and then all us kids in the grade took turns at picking the papers out of the fishbowl in assembly. So I unfolded Augie's little slip of paper. Oh, cool, I said, maybe a little overexcited because I was trying to get him psyched up. You got you got the step pyramid of Sa- Saqqara? I know, he said. I got Anubis, the god of the afterlife. The one with the dog head? It's actually a jackal head. I, it's actually a jackal head, I corrected him. Hey, you want to start working on a project together after school? You could come over to my house. He put his sandwich down and leaned back in his chair. I can't even describe the look he was giving me. You know, Summer, he said, you don't have to do this. What are you talking about? You don't have to be friends with me. I know Mr. Tushman talked to you. I have no idea what you're talking about. You don't have to pretend, is all I'm saying. I know Mr. Tushman talked to some kids before school started and told them they had to be friends with me.
He did not talk to me, August. Yeah, he did. No, he did not. Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. I swear on my life. I put my hand up in the air so he could see I wasn't crossing my fingers. He immediately looked down at my feet. So so I shook off my Uggs so he could see my toes weren't crossed. You're wearing tights, he said accusingly. You can see my toes are flat, I yelled. Okay, you don't have to scream. I don't like being accused of something, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. You should be. He really didn't talk to you. Augie. Okay, okay, I'm really sorry. I would have stayed mad at home longer, but then he told me about something bad that had happened to him on Halloween, and I couldn't stay mad at him anymore. Basically, he heard Jack badmouth him and say something horrible things behind his back. It kind of explained his attitude, and now I knew why he's been out sick. Promise you won't tell anyone, he said. I won't, I nodded. Promise you won't ever be mean like that to me again. Promise, he said, and we pinky swore.
Warning, this kid is rated R. I had warned Mom about August's face. I had described what he looked like. I did this because I know she's not always good at faking her feelings, and August was coming over for the first time today. I even sent her a text at work to remind her about it. But I could tell from the expression on her face when she came home after work that I had prepared her enough. She was shocked when she came through the door and saw his face for the first time. Hi, Mom. This is Augie. Can I stay for dinner? I asked quickly. It took a second for my question to even register. Hi, Augie, she said. Of course, sweetheart. If it's okay with Augie's mother. While Augie called his mother on the cell phone, I whispered to Mom, Stop making that weirded out face. She said she had that look like when she's watching the news and some horrific event has happened. She nodded quickly and like she hadn't realized that she was making a face, and it was really nice and normal to Augie afterward. After a while, Augie and I got tired of working on our projects, and we went to hang in the living room. Augie was looking at the pictures on the mantel, and he saw a picture of me and Daddy. Is that your dad? He said. Yeah. I didn't know you were. What's the word?
Biracial.
But by
Biracial.
biracial. Can't speak.
Right, that's the word, yeah. He looked at the picture again. Are your parents divorced? I've never seen him or at drop off or anything. Oh no, I said. He has a platoon sergeant. He died a few years ago. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I nodded, handing him a picture of my dad in his uniform. Whoa, look at all those medals. Yeah, he was pretty awesome. Wow, Summer, I'm sorry. Yeah, it sucks. I really miss him a lot. Yeah, wow. He nodded, hanging the picture, hanging me back the picture. Have you known anyone who died? I asked. Just my grandmother. I don't really even remember her. That's too bad. Augie nodded. You ever wonder what would happens to people when they die? I asked. He shrugged. Not really. I mean, I guess they go to heaven. That's where my grands went. I think about it a lot. I said. I think when people die, their souls go to heaven, but just for a little while. Like that's where they see their old friends and stuff and kind of catch up with old times. But when I actually think of souls start thinking about their lives on earth, I think they were good or bad or whatever. And then they get born again as newborn babies in the world. Why would you want to do that? Because then they get another chance to get it right. I answered. Their souls get a chance to have a do over.
He thought about what I was saying and then nodded. Kind of like you're getting your you get a makeup test, he said. Right. But they didn't come back looking the same, he said. I mean, they look completely different when they come back, right? Oh, yeah, I answered. Your soul stays the same, but everything else is different. I like that, he said, nodding a lot. I really like that, Summer. That means in my next life, I won't be stuck with this face. He pointed to his face when he said that and batted his eyes, which made me laugh. I guess not, I shrugged. Hey, I might even be handsome, he said, smiling. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? I could come back and be this good looking dude and be a super buff and super tall. I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's one of the things I like it most about Augie. Hey, Augie, can I ask you a question? Yeah, he said, like he knew exactly what I wanted to ask. I hesitated. I've been wanting to ask him this for a while, but I've always lost the guts to ask. What? He said. You want to know what's wrong with my face? Yeah, I guess. If it's okay for me to ask. He shrugged. I was so relieved that he didn't seem mad or sad. Yeah, it's no big deal, he said casually. The main thing I have is the thing called man, mandibulofacial dysostosis. That's so hard. Which took me forever to learn how to pronounce. See? By the way, but I also have this other syndrome thing I can't even pronounce. I'm happy I don't have to pronounce that. And these things kind of just morph together into one big super thing.
Which is so rare they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered something of a medical wonder. You know? He smiled. That was a joke, he said. You can laugh. I smiled and shook my head. You're funny, Augie, I said. Yeah, I am, he said proudly. I am cool beans. All right, we're going to stop there for today. We'll see you again next time. Don't forget your 3 comic strips for next week. Bye.